What's up, guys? It's Chris again. I've been getting a lot of questions about seller concessions in this market, so we're going to go over that stuff today. So when you're buying a house, you're going to have a few costs associated with doing so. So you're going to have a down payment, and you're also going to have closing costs. And closing costs, they're going to vary a lot, but they're typically 2 to 6% of the home's purchase price. Seller concessions are a percentage of closing costs that a seller is willing or has agreed to pay. Please note that you cannot use seller concessions for down payments. Sometimes you can ask a seller to contribute to specific closing costs. Other times, sellers may apply a percentage of the purchase price towards closing costs. So, for an example, if you're purchasing a $400K home and ask the seller for 1% in seller concessions, that would be equivalent to 1% of the purchase price or $4,000. The following items are some of the things that you may be able to have covered by seller concessions. First of all, title insurance. This would protect you or your lender from anybody that may come forth with a claim on your home's title. Loan origination fees. These could be things like origination fees, broker fees, underwriting, or processing fees. Those can all be covered by seller concessions. Inspection fees. For example, in some states such as Virginia, it is required that you have a pest inspection fee before a loan can close. There's also recording fees. This is to cover the expense of documenting your home's purchase with the local or state government. Appraisal fee. This would be the cost of having an appraiser come in and value the home. Attorney fees. In some states, you need an attorney to review the closing docs. Texas, you can have that covered by the seller as well. And points. So points would be the cost of buying down a rate. And right now in 2022, this is actually a very popular thing to look for. The next question I usually get, well, how much can I have the seller cover? The answer is it depends. It depends on the type of loan that you are getting. Conventional loans, FHA and USDA loans, and VA loans, as well as non-QM products, all have different requirements in terms of the maximum seller concessions that can be received. So let's break those down now. So for conventional loans, if you're putting less than 10% down, the max that a seller may contribute is 3%. So if you had a purchase price of $200,000, 3% would be $6,000. If you're putting down 10 to 25%, then they will allow up to 6% in seller concessions, or $12,000. If you happen to be putting down 25%, you can request up to 9% in seller concessions. So on a $200,000 purchase, that would be $18,000. If you're purchasing a home with a government-backed mortgage, such as an FHA, VA, or USDA loan, they have hard limits that are set on seller concessions based on the purchase price, not your down payment. Does not matter what your down payment is, these are the limits. So for example, on an FHA loan, they can contribute up to 6%, or in our example of a $200K purchase price, $12,000. If you're looking at a VA loan, $8,000 or 4%. A USDA again is 6% or $12,000. So how much in seller concessions should you ask for, if any? Well, the answer is you need to talk to your local realtor, because they are going to understand that specific market better than anybody else, and they are constantly negotiating on deals. So it's best to ask them, because you may be in a market where it's possible to get seller concessions, and you may be in a market where it's just not going to happen. Definitely ask your local realtor. So now you guys understand what seller concessions are and how they impact your closing costs. The next question I typically get from borrowers is, what is earnest money and how does it work? So I've made a quick little video explaining that right here.